We're coming to you from the Radford Studio Center lot in Studio City, right over the hill from Hollywood. This is the place where dreams are made, legends are born. Hello and welcome to The Lot. I'm Suzanne Marquez. There have been a lot of movies about Dracula, but there's a new take based on one memorable chapter of Bram Stoker's original novel. The Last Voyage of Demeter is a horror movie with Dracula as a stowaway on a London-bound ship.
The Demeter, on charter from Romania to London. Shipping private crates. Contents unknown.
And in one crate, Dracula. The Last Voyage of the Demeter is based on Chapter 7 of Bram Stoker's iconic novel.
It's great to have a contained story like that belongs to such a wonderful tale of classic literature.
This particular chapter is probably one of the most interesting chapters of this entire, of Bram Stoker's novel.
We're a doomed crew, Mr. Clemens. On a doomed ship.
Bram Stoker was born in a house literally around the corner from me, about a kilometre away. And now when I'm driving into the city, I get to give him a little nod of appreciation because he's put shoes on my children's feet.
Evil is on board. Powerful evil.
Walking into this film built around an iconic, legendary character who I've adored since I was a child, getting to be a part of a Universal Pictures horror film directed by Andre Overdahl, and then stepping on to the deck of a real ship.
And you walk into this practical set. I'm claustrophobic, so the ceilings are low.
He is on this ship, which means that we will never leave it.
The goal was to make the scariest Dracula movie in a long time. That was absolutely the goal of making this movie.
He's coming!
All right, sticking with a scary theme, The Passenger just dropped on streaming. About a man who must find a way to survive when his coworker snaps and goes on a violent killing spree.
Oh my God, that's horrible. Is he?
Everything okay?
Someone just assaulted our vice principal in the parking lot.
Why are you doing this?
Because, Randy, I have been watching you. You are 20 years old.
I call it a coming-of-age hostage road trip thriller. Which kind of seems like, at this point it's rolling off the tongue, but it was kind of the only thing that I could come up with to describe what it is. It's a thriller, but it is kind of coming of age, and it's got elements of like a buddy movie, in a weird way. That brings to mind probably something a little bit lighter, but there is, that element of them growing and learning together. And then of course, there are some really, there's some violence that is kind of shocking and scary.
That guy.
You bring him up again and I'll kill you.
It was a story that when I read it for the first time, I had no idea what it was about. I had no idea where it was going. I really just didn't have any context for it. And I found myself, not only kind of taken by all of the crazy left turns that it makes, but about halfway through, I was like, I am really rooting for Benson, Kyle Gallner's character. It's important to remind ourselves that things are not black and white. We're all versions of gray.
It's available on most streaming services. Now, from a Paramount movie to a new movie on Paramount Plus, Love in Taipei is a new coming-of-age film. The Lot's Kalina Estrino sat down with the executive producer of the film, Abigail Hing-wen.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm Sophie Ha. Haha.
I never.
Do you go to college? Are you excited for the summer? See any guys you like? Do you not like to talk?
I don't really know if excited is the right word.
You are here to learn and experience your cultural heritage.
Parents send their kids here because they think it's a cultural program, but we're all here because we know what it really is.
Stop!
One big party.
This is Ever. You should ask Ever out. You're single, and she struggles with social skills and making friends and stuff like that. It's perfect. What?
Catch you later, Ever.
Bye. Rick.
Okay, that was a great clip. I love it. So Love in Taipei is a new Paramount Plus film that follows a young woman's cultural immersion program in Taiwan, which turns out to be something more than what she bargained for. So joining me right now is the executive producer of the film and author of the book the film is based on, Abigail Hing-Wen. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
That was an amazing clip, by the way.
Thank you.
You see the young talent that you have in this film. That's amazing, and they're fun, and it's romantic, and it's going to be a good time. So tell us a little bit about the book and the whole transition into creating this film.
Yeah, so the book Love Boat Taipei came out in 2020.
And I have one too.
Yes, and this Love Boat Reunion, which is the sequel, the third one, Love Boat Forever, comes out in November. And it's been a labor of love. So Love Boat is an actual program that has been around since the 1960s in Taipei. Parents would send their kids from all over the world to learn language, culture, and also find a spouse. And so there were actually a lot of couples that came out of this program.
Oh.
And that's how it got its nickname Love Boat.
That makes sense. Okay.
So I went on this program myself.
I was going to ask you if there was any personal connection.
Absolutely. So my freshman summer after Harvard, I went on this program thinking I was going for language and culture, and I found this like summer free-for-all instead, where all the kids are just sneaking out, as you'll see in the film, and drinking snake blood sake and just basically running wild all summer in the best of ways.
Okay, so tell me one of your craziest memories from this, because this sounds like a good time. I wish I would have done this.
So definitely the sneaking out is the quintessential thing. There are many ways to get out. So my friends and I, we just ran out the front door with the counselors chasing us, half-heartedly, I might add. But my husband, who was on Love Boat a couple summers before me, I found out many years later that he and his friends sneaked over this blue pipe that extended from campus all the way, it was a water pipe, all the way across the Keelung River to the other side.
Oh.
And so when I found this out, I was like, oh God, that's the version that has to go in the book. So that version went in the book, but it didn't go in the film because it was too dangerous to film.
Wow. Ooh, I like that we got like an inside scoop here. That's amazing. Yeah. Okay, so how does it feel knowing that people are finally going to be able to see this film?
It was crazy. It actually went live last night at 9 p.m. PST because it's midnight on the East Coast. And I actually found out like the hour before that it was going live. And I think that was like really the moment for me. Like this film that's been like it's just been the filmmakers and the cast and the crew, and then our partners that are helping with distribution. Like we're the only ones who'd seen it. And now suddenly everyone's able to see these characters come to life too. So it's miraculous.
What is it like for you knowing that, okay, so AAPI culture, we've been, moving in the right direction. Diversity has obviously been a conversation for a while now, trying to get, people seen. What is it like for you having something like this, a platform for young actors?
Yeah, I think that was the hope from the beginning. I had, when producers were having conversations with me back in 2019 and early 2020, they said, what's the most important thing to you for the film adaptation? I said, this book has a cast of over 30 different Asian and Asian American characters, and they're all really different. They're artists, they're jocks, they're friends, and they make smart decisions and bad decisions, and they recover and they move on and become better people. And I wanted that diversity that we knew was in our community reflected on the screen in a way that we hadn't really seen. And also for these young stars to be discovered and move into other roles around Hollywood, and non-ethnic specific roles, because that's who we are. We play many different roles in society.
Love her story, and I want to hear much more. Have to watch the movie. Well, Sir Ben Kingsley plays an elderly man struggling with his fading memory. Well, an alien crash lands into his life and becomes a welcome visitor in Jules.
Oh my. A UFO has crashed in my backyard, has taken out my azaleas and destroyed my bird bath.
When you talk like that, it makes them all take us less seriously.
Did you just say UFO?
Ben Kingsley plays a lonely senior citizen who befriends an alien in Jules.
This rather invisible man is captivated by the most extraordinary sequence of events.
Harriet Sansom Harris and Jane Curtin soon discover the secret in the comic drama directed by Mark Turteltaub.
All those elements put together, which is science fiction a bit, which is humor, which is pathos, which is a buddy movie about people coming together later in life, and then a 4'11" alien. We will break the sky wide open.
Jules has come to mean quite a bit to us.
Jade Kwan plays the alien who charms the trio.
The visitor, played by Jade, is one of the most extraordinary performances I've ever seen on a film set or on screen. Her discipline, her commitment to that character.
Any moment we waste is a moment they can discover him.
You've seen the movies. You know what happens to these guys when they fall to earth.
We didn't want to play anything for the joke. So I think that was the key. There was an agreement among all of us that this should be played in a very grounded, real way.
Us four hanging out together. We get along pretty well.
We're so thankful for you.
A very touching movie. Now let's go to another one. There's a new documentary on Apple TV+. Still is an inspiring look at Michael J. Fox's life. It's by the Oscar-winning director of An Inconvenient Truth. That's former VP Al Gore's documentary on global warming. And even though Michael J. Fox has battled Parkinson's for decades, it's anything but a pity party.
That's him. That's our star.
I want this job. I can do it. Whatever the exception is, I can fix it. I can be older. I can be taller. I can be anything.
This is an incredible story. This short kid from Canada wanted to be a huge movie star, and he becomes one, and then he's diagnosed with Parkinson's. It's a wild ride.
The popularity of Michael J. Fox is a phenomenon.
Michael J. Fox! I don't believe this. This is great. I feel 4 feet tall.
Oscar-winning director Davis Guggenheim was inspired to create Still, a Michael J. Fox movie, as a tribute to a man who had every reason to feel sorry for himself, but didn't.
Yeah, that's boring.
What did it mean to be still?
I wouldn't know. I was ever still.
I don't know Parkinson's. I didn't have it when I started this movie, but I did feel, frankly, sorry for myself. I felt like I'm about to turn 60, my kids are moving out of the house, I kind of like my best years are behind me, and I started feeling sorry for myself. And reading about it, I was like, how is this guy so upbeat, so optimistic, and so truly grateful? And that's sort of this part where I started to make the film and start, like he really is this kind of upbeat guy. And I was like, what if we told a film that was not a tearjerker?
Fueled with rock music and energy, this is a story about the triumph of spirit. And you won't find sad songs in this 7-time Emmy-nominated documentary. No sound of violins, no pity.
So Michael J. Fox said, no violins, let's not make this sad. Let's give the audience a fun, wild ride. And I think we have, but it's a testament to Michael's character. He's an incredible human being.
Good, stop and reset.
It's a very fun film to watch. It's funny, it's uplifting, and he is, he's self-deprecating, and he didn't want to be defined by Parkinson's.
All right, I'm okay. Thank you.
Nice to meet you, sir.
Nice to meet you. You knocked me off my feet.
The challenge was keeping that tone throughout the whole movie without ever slipping into kind of sadness and pity. We just didn't want to do that.
From his meet cute on the set of Family Ties in 1985 with his future wife, Tracy Pollan, until now, they've been one of Hollywood's most enduring romances. They have 4 children, and 25 years later are still going strong. And if you shed any tears, it's because their story is so tender, so touching.
I love you.
I love you too.
Well, we love each other. I mean, we said it, we know it. I mean, that's all that's important. It doesn't matter what happens now.
On Apple TV Plus now. When we come back, movie critic Grae Drake is here. She's sharing her take on what's new in theaters. You don't want to miss that, as well as her streaming picks. Welcome back. Movie critic Grae Drake is joining me now to talk about what's new in theaters. Let's start with something we've shown a little teaser of, Voyage of the Demeter. Are we saying we're not going to say anything bad?
Very serious vampire face right now.
Ooh.
Because, this one is like trying to be really dark. It's trying to be really scary.
Yeah.
But the problem is that the title is a spoiler. And you can, nobody survives, Suzanne.
Oh, okay. But is it still scary at least?
Yeah, it's pretty scary because they're all trapped on a ship in the dark. So the thing about this one is just one chapter in Bram Stoker's Dracula. And the thing about that is, I get why they just limited it to a chapter and nobody else ever covered it in any of their other Dracula movies. So talented actors. Corey Hawkins, you were talking to earlier from Walking Dead, and we love him. Moody, but did it totally work? really for me. As far as spooky things go, I think that there's a better choice on Paramount Plus.
Ooh, okay, so let's talk about which is a better choice.
Well, the TV series Penny Dreadful had 3 seasons.
Oh
okay?
yeah, that's a good one. And didn't she get one of her starts with Tim Burton?
Right.
Okay, so we're gonna go to a clip.
Do you believe there is a demi-monde, Mr. Chandler? A half-world between what we know and what we fear. A place in the shadows, rarely seen but deeply felt.
That sounds like a warning.
It's an invitation.
Oh,
Okay, I'm in.
Eva Green is so good, isn't she?
Isn't she? I love her. In everything she's been in, she steals the show.
Great in the Bond movies as well, because she really is like just this powerful woman. She has so much agency, and so is Penny Dreadful. She teams up with Josh Hartnett, who you saw. They've got all these great characters, an adventurer. They've got Dorian Gray thrown in there, and they're just battling monsters. That's all that happens in that show. And basically, when you watch it, you're going to be thinking, it's Victorian, the costumes are great. It's making me feel like it's maybe not scorching hot outside and Halloween's around the corner. And Penny Dreadful will leave you wishing they did more seasons.
Okay, well, if not, they can just rewatch it. Okay, let's talk about something that's new on Netflix, Heart of Stone?
Yeah, Gal Gadot.
Love it.
Yeah, Wonder Woman is back.
Yeah.
It's been a minute since we've seen her. And this time she is a spy. And she's trying to protect a very fancy thingy-jingy gadget. So this gadget will protect everyone in the right hands, but it falls into the wrong hands.
Oh, okay. Well, I love her. She can do no wrong, but let's talk about somebody else who could do no wrong. I'm gonna let you do the honors.
Oh, Foxy Brown. Pam Grier is magic in this movie. And basically next year, this movie is going to celebrate its 50th anniversary.
Ooh, well, let's celebrate with a little clip.
Foxy's got guts. No ifs, ands, or buts.
I better warn you, I got a black belt in karate. And I got my black belt in bar stools.
Okay, I'm sure this is one inspiration for Jackie Brown, of course.
Absolutely. It's a reason she was cast, I think.
Yeah, baby. So let's talk about Foxy and how historic and incredible this movie was for the time.
This is a blaxploitation film and arguably one of the most famous ones, and with good reason, because Pam Grier as Foxy Brown is this really powerful, smart, talented, kick-butt lady whose boyfriend is killed. So she finds the drug dealers who are responsible for it, and she poses as a sex worker to get in with them and then takes them all down from the inside. So through a modern lens, it's easy to talk about this movie and how problematic some of the angles might be. However, in context, it really is an incredibly feminist movie that's about like Pam Grier and how fantastic her black culture is. So it's a wonderful one to watch. And I think it just is a lot stronger of a message than something like Heart of Stone, but the reason that Heart of Stone exists in movie theaters now.
I love it. I love your history. I love all of your insight. Okay, but we're also going to talk about a tribute to your hair. We've been thinking pink ever since Barbie came out. And did we love the movie or did we love the movie?
I mean, love is too weak a word because it is amazing.
Yeah, and the Barbie party shows no signs of slowing down, thanks in part to one song. We all know this one. It's rolling in behind us. And the man behind it, Grammy-winning producer Mark Ronson, is sharing some secrets to its success.
Hi, Barbie.
Dua Lipa's Dance the Night is the perfect fit for the dance party at Barbie's dream house.
Looking good, Barbie.
Mark Ronson, who produced the soundtrack with Dua Lipa, posted behind-the-scenes clips sharing insight into their creative process.
Yeah, I like that. I think that's good.
He reveals they wrote the song for the film, but Dua Lipa overhauled the lyrics after seeing the finished scene.
Watch me dance the night away.
He says he got goosebumps as she freestyled new lyrics inspired by Margot's moves.
Diamonds under my eyes. Turn the rhythm up, don't you wanna just come along for the ride?
He said they spent hundreds of hours tweaking a word or line here and there to make not just the song, but the whole scene better.
Yeah, I like that. I think that's good. I can take the heat, baby, best believe that's the moment I shine. 'Cause
big Barbie party with Grae and all of you watching. And the Lot's Marquina Brown is also here to join the party, breaking down the biggest Hollywood headlines.
That's right, Suzanne. We've got a Barbie ban and Meghan and Harry's plans for a new movie. We're breaking it all down next.
Welcome back. The Lot's Marquina Brown is here to dish about the Hollywood headlines.
That's right, Suzanne. The person that is stealing all the headlines is none other than T. Swift.
Of course.
She just wrapped up her 6th and final Eras concert tour in Los Angeles at SoFi Stadium this week with a huge announcement.
And I think instead of just like telling you about it, I think I'll just sort of show you.
Wow, that is right. During the surprise portion of her show, she sang 2 songs, including New Romantics, and the megastar also confirmed that her new re-record will be 1989 in an Instagram post. She promises that there will be 5 previously unreleased songs from the vault. 1989 is arguably Taylor's most popular album and marked her transition from country pop to full-on pop star. The Eras Tour starts back up for its international leg on August 24th in Mexico City. 1989, Taylor's version is due out on October 27th.
Oh, I can't wait for it. I think that was my favorite album.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
well,
so I'm ready. Okay, well, let's talk about not just Taylor. Barbie is joining the $1 billion club. The film is now the 2nd highest growing movie of the year, but it's not a hit in all parts of the world, if you can believe it.
Yeah.
So Lebanon and Kuwait have banned the movie, claiming it offends moral values. In Lebanon, the film is accused of promoting homosexuality. Kuwait claims Barbie carries ideas that encourage unacceptable behavior and a message that distorts the prevailing values of society. And Barbie bombed in South Korea. According to the Korean Film Council, only 500,000 tickets have been sold there. Some experts believe the film's feminist message may have kept away viewers and lack of nostalgia because Barbies weren't really popular there.
In more film news, let's do this. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are set to make a new movie. Their production company, Archewell, has secured the rights to the New York Times bestselling novel Meet Me at the Lake. They're working with Netflix to bring the project to life. There will be some similarities to Meghan's life. It's about a Canadian 30-something who gets a second chance at love and career. It's set in Toronto, where Markle lived for 7 years while filming the series Suits.
I love that. I love them. I can't wait to see the movie.
Same. All right, now to the Emmys. They were postponed, but have now set a new date. TV's top honor was scheduled to be handed out next month. Then they were postponed, and a new air date is set for 5 months from now, January 15th.
Okay, now let's talk about High School Musical, the series. That's how many there have been.
Yeah, really.
It's now in its 4th and final season. 3 people, though, were noticeably missing from the finale. Troy, played by Zac Efron, Vanessa Hudgens, who portrayed Gabriella, and Sharpay, played by Ashley Tisdale. But spoiler alert, we do have a few updates.
Martha is a world-class choreographer. Troy and Gabriella are in couples therapy. Ryan is happily partnered
with twins on the way.
Okay, so Zac Efron's and Vanessa Hudgens' characters are in couples therapy.
Yeah, but Suze, we didn't even get an update on Ashley Tisdale's character.
That's too bad.
I don't know. Okay, anyway, but luckily, in an interview with People magazine, series creator Tim Federle teased pink-loving character Sharpay and was probably busy working on Barbie. I don't know, but the final season of High School, the musical, the series is streaming on Disney Plus, along with all of the other High School musicals.
Well, I guess if you want to watch musicals, your whole weekend is set, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, that's a wrap for this episode. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Suzanne Marquez.
And I'm Marquina Brown. We will see you next week on The Lot.